Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniature. Today is a momentous occasion for me because today is the first time I have finally got some of One Page Rules Robot Lords off of my print bed in one piece. Now, this is a major cause of celebration for me. Yeah, I know it's super shiny, but this is one of their single combined part figures. Let me explain a little bit. So, when One Page Rules first started doing their own original designs in their 3D printed Patreon files, they look like this. And I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to super skinny little robot bits like that have very tiny contact points, things do not cooperate well for me, and especially when you have, two hands holding on to the weapon and they have to be aligned just so. Mistakes were made many times. So here's just a variety of parts of a variety of kits that I've tried to build, and it just didn't turn out well. Maybe someday I'm going to take another shot at it. I don't know. So that's how the files were originally offered up, as individual single pieces for every member of the unit. And then, so I got frustrated. I never got a single one of them built, and I promptly ignored it for a bit and moved on to better and brighter and easier things to manage. So then I got a notification that they were going to be offering up combined part models. So they were going to take all that stuff, combine it, and get it all pre-supported. So I was like, oh, yay, cool. Okay, that's going to be easy. Well, not so much. So then I'd have tons and tons of print failures. You can see here he's missing hands, a leg, a head. It was getting really tough. I did manage to get one whole model. I believe this is the Technomancer. And, they have a very interesting look to them. They have a bit of Battle Droid from Star Wars, a bit of Necron, a bit of Terminator, just generic skinny robot. It's a unique look. I like it. I dig it. It definitely can play well in a lot of sci-fi games. You could probably even fantasy him up a bit and use him as some kind of a golem or something. But with Stargrave coming out with One Page Rules own various sets of game, you can totally get these guys to use. So I had a lot of difficulties getting things still in one piece. A lot of times I'd have, just weird print errors. So here's a more recent one. You can see he's missing part of his claws there. They just, comes out 90% all right. So I figure, close enough. But then finally I noticed today, as I was browsing for their new Da Vinci Army inspired guys, that they had suggested settings. So I thought, what the hey, let's give them a try. And lo and behold, it actually worked. Now here's a model I tried to print before it actually turned out well. I think this is the Overseer. He doesn't want to stand up right now, and I just noticed there's a little bit of support still in there. We'll get him a base in a sec. But there is a ton of variety of units that they've made. They have these snake robots. Again, he needs some kind of a base. Let me grab bases for these guys. All right, there we go. So one thing I've noticed is basing is going to be a challenge for a lot of these. They're going to need big bases if you don't shrink them down. So I would suggest probably most of these are going to need 40 millimeter bases. The smaller stuff, like the individual warden here, like in his sculpt. I love all the tattered cloaks on these guys. He can kind of fit on a 30. The basic grunt warriors, that is a 25 millimeter base he's on, so that does work at least. There isn't much overhang on that. But it's the more exotic stuff, like the snakes. Where are you, snake? Right here. Or the flesh terror guys. Or my personal favorites, the annihilators, which are these big, heavily armed four-arm guys with big mega cannons. Or 4 blades if you want to go close combat. He barely fits on a 30. I'd probably suggest 40s for them. And I mean, there's just a huge variety of stuff. They actually have a spider walker as well, which I tried way back and it never printed for me. So I'm going to be giving that another try as well. Overall, level of detail is nice. I'm really liking the fact that, number one, the suggested settings worked for once for me. I've struggled so long trying to get these guys printed, and the fact that they finally are done, I'm really happy. They were a really unique look to them, and the other thing is that One Page Rules continues to actually go back and support armies that they've already established at this point with their own style. So obviously, yeah, they fit in pretty well with 40k as equivalent, Necrons or what have you. I mean, they even might work as, I'm thinking, Tyranids maybe? Might be a good thing. And especially if you want to start mixing and matching with other companies, you want to mix in some of the Maker's Cult Ironhive stuff in there, might be some fun possibilities as well. I'm going to continue to hold on to all these little extra bits, and one of the nice things is the fact that they still have all those individual supported STL files for all the individual pieces. So like this one, this is I think it was called a Guardian. So these were like the guys carrying shields and blades. All I really need to do is just print out an extra hand and a head, and in fact, oh yeah, this is one of the ones where the arm is 2 parts. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Maybe you're getting an extra one. Oh, no, take that back. That might work. If I trim that down at least. So if you like the really hardcore modeling aspect of it, I do personally, I don't enjoy it with really, really thin parts like this. That to me is not so fun. I like when things are more chunky and fit together well. But it is cool to see just a lot of unique poses, a lot of variety in terms of designs. And yeah, they obviously have some inspiration for currently existing tabletop stuff, but that's half the fun, This way, I've got myself a full kill team of assorted murderous mechs that I can use in a variety of games. And considering the price of a month or two of Patreon and the fact that they have all of the previous files available and the option to have a coupon for, up to half off, even better, I do look forward to that. Let's see if I can find an actual Necron to stick in there just to give you guys a good sense of scale. Obviously, these are built with just the regular 100% parameters. I didn't tinker with them in any way, shape, or form. So that's about how they stack up, at least with a typical Primaris. Yeah, I think I do see a Necron. Hold on one second. Let me go reach over and grab him. All right, cool. Actually, I had a regular warrior, an immortal, and a hex mark. So, death mark? I don't remember. So this is how they stack up with actual Necron models. Actually, I'm liking the fact that that color is pretty close. Too bad it's a mixture of like 3 or 4 different leftover resins. I don't think I could recreate it, sadly. So get out of here, Imperial scum. So you can see size-wise, I think they stack up pretty well. Obviously, they're not going to have the same kind of weapons because, well, we don't want to have any kind of copyright infringement. But I think definitely they wouldn't look out of place mixed in with the Force, especially if you want to have very exotic-looking mechs. I don't think they have a Deathmark equivalent. I think the big heavy cannon guys like this could totally work as an immortal. But, that's the thing. There's not equivalents for all this, and that's actually kind of cool. So you can come up with your own unit creations like these forearm guys. There's an entire squad of them. There's even like leader versions who I broke one of his blades because it didn't want to print correctly. But he's got all kinds of fabulous extra sharp implements of destruction. I think this is the same guy, isn't it? Yeah, the fancier ones have all the extra spikes. So, if you're looking for something different, and hopefully, I know that they were teasing a big monolith-style model coming down the pipeline, so that might be something cool to see. If you're interested, we'll obviously put a link to both One Page's Rules' actual website and their Patreon because they have all those rules for free, and they do print out on One Page. The Patreon offers up all kinds of other rule sets, the full rule books for the games, and I love their stuff. Honestly, if I'm going to play anything that's using GW models these days, it's probably going to be with one of OPR's rule sets. They're very streamlined and they're a lot of fun to use. So do take a look. I'm sure there's going to be something that you find interesting. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures. Saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.